live on YouTube. It's fantasy football with the Dork and the Dude.
I'm the Dude.
And I am the Dork.
All right, here we are.
Week 18, baby.
Yeah, week 18. Last week of the season. It's been a long season. Hey, looking back on your fantasy season and your team, Dork, what would you do differently so that you would have had a better year?
Well,
what killed your season, basically?
Without hindsight, I took too many chances at running back. I mean, A-Chain was he was okay, but he was something of a chance. He was better in PPR than in other leagues.
Still scored a bunch of touchdowns.
Yeah. Pacheco got injured. I mean, my first pick, Amon-Ra, the Sun God, he was the second receiver in our league.
Yep, he's
or
good.
Going into the last week, he is.
Yep.
I also would have gone with a more solid quarterback.
Me too.
I tend to go for upside, and I took Kyler Murray thinking he might go off, and then I took Caleb as my second.
Yep.
And in retrospect, I'm pretty sure Burrow, Goff, Stafford, guys like that were out there for me.
Yeah.
And just take a good quarterback.
Burrow would have been awesome.
I
think he got picked as the number 2 QB in our league. Anything else? Bowers was awesome for you at tight end.
Bowers was a good pick. You know, sometimes you go with the rookies, it works. Kincaid, my first pick, wasn't much.
Nothing. Bust.
Yeah, and you know, I've identified the problem. Now I just have to, in the draft, make it happen where I go for the more safe picks and not all upside.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Well, I totally botched the QB position. I took Mahomes like third QB off the board.
Right.
Guy was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go for an upside younger running QB next year for sure.
Yeah.
My RBs killed it. They carried my team.
Hey, picking Henry was a stroke of genius for you at the end of round one.
Jonathan Taylor was hurt, but he's come back.
He's come back, and he's keeping you in it
now. He's killing it. Montgomery was killing it. Then I picked up some dudes off the waiver wire that helped me here or there and stuff. Wide receiver, I neglect every year, and it killed me.
Yeah.
And then even when I had guys, they weren't performing, I cut them, and then someone picks them off the waiver wire, and they go nuts.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. Every year I say I'm gonna try not to cut people, but after as early as I do.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to do better roster management, Dork.
Yeah. But you had a real good year though.
Not bad. I was leading about halfway through the season, and then that quarterback play killed me.
The Mahomes pick got you.
Yeah.
I mean,
it did.
And
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
And I'm guessing you weren't the only fantasy player who got killed by Mahomes this year.
That's for damn sure.
But next year's another year. We'll be at it, and not much else to say.
That's it. Okay, well, here we are heading into Week 18. Week 18's tricky, isn't it, Dork?
Well, there's a lot of guys. I mean, like for instance, Baltimore.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson might run up, and Henry might run up some nice first half numbers.
Yep.
But if they got like a 30-point lead, they may sit the second half.
They're up by 20.
Yeah, and they're favored by 20.
Yeah, but you know, if they're up big by the second half and they seed them, that means that those guys probably scored some points.
They probably scored some points for you.
Like 30 maybe.
But you got if you've been counting on Josh Allen all year, or Jalen Hurts, they're out. They're not playing. Barkley's another one.
That's it. Those are big guys.
And you just don't know. I mean, the Giants looked like they were dead going for the number one pick, and they scored 43 points last week against the Colts.
Drew Lock throws 5 TDs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who could have seen that?
Nobody. The bettors sure didn't.
Right. Well, they haven't seen much all year. So.
Yep, the pros had a bad year betting. And being a Joe who's had a good year betting, I like it.
Yep.
And the thing is, favorites have been covering at 31 to 32% clip, and the pros bet underdogs.
Yeah.
And they do teasers and all this other bullshit, and they got killed.
Yep.
Yeah. Some of these guys are actually just apologizing to their clients, going, "I'm sorry, I'm not seeing things."
And they should.
Yeah,
If you
but there's guys that pay big bucks to get their insider
get their info,
picks.
get their expert picks.
Yeah, and they let them down this year.
Yes, they did.
Now next year the pros will probably fucking kill it, but this year it was rough.
Well, we'll see. I mean, and like anything else, yeah,
They get the shit slapped out of them.
it's buyer beware.
That's it.
And they call it gambling for a reason.
That's it. Oh, I've got to remember about the voodoo going into week 18. You know who this is. You know who you are out there. You know who's coming for you.
Okay.
All right.
Should we go to Dudes and Dorks?
Dudes and Dorks, week 18. Hit me, dork.
Got any QBs?
Depending on what happens in the earlier games, they might set him, but or play him just to start the game. But Justin Herbert versus the Raiders.
Yeah, that's a good play. Again, I'm just not sure. They're locked in.
No. Here's the scenario. If Baltimore wins, they win the division.
Right.
Saturday night game. If Pittsburgh loses, then the Chargers have everything to play for because they can move up to the number 5 seed, and then they play Houston instead of Baltimore or Buffalo.
Right.
So on the road.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the whole deal. If Pittsburgh loses, then the Chargers have a reason to play. Whether they do or not, who knows? But,
And again, that's good information for those of you with Herbert on your team.
yeah, like me.
Yeah.
I picked up Wilson, and it looks Russell Wilson. Looks like I'm going to have to start him in that Saturday game, not knowing what's coming down.
Right.
But Pittsburgh has a lot to play for, though. Just like the Chargers, they want that 5 seed, and they want to go to Houston and kick their ass because they're crumbling.
Now, as I understand it, though, the Chargers are the team that controls their own destiny.
Well, they're already in the playoffs.
Right, but they...
No, if Pittsburgh...
The 5th seed is theirs to lose.
No, Pittsburgh currently holds the 5th seed.
Right.
They need Pittsburgh to lose.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why it's a tricky situation.
Okay.
If Pittsburgh wins that damn game, Chargers can't improve their seed, and they'll probably rest people.
Right. Okay.
If Pittsburgh loses to Cincy, then they'll play people trying to get that 5 seed.
Okay. And Baltimore, well, I have a hard time believing Baltimore is going to lose. So
Me too. To Cleveland?
I'm not even going to put that out there as a what if, but that is the first game of the weekend.
Yep.
So if it does happen,
But,
react from there.
If you've got like me, Russell Wilson or whatever, or any players that are hinging on outcomes of earlier games, whether they're going to play or not, you just watch the reports and especially an hour, 2 hours before the game, look online, find everything you can, and find out how they're going to play these guys because we'll probably know by then.
Well, anyways, a guy I kind of like, I assume he's playing, is Anthony Richardson against Jax.
Doesn't look good for him playing.
Oh, it doesn't.
They,
okay.
They haven't announced
they might go
it yet.
with Flacco.
Looks like it looks like it is Flacco.
Well, then Flacco's an interesting
He's my sleeper.
play.
He's my sleeper.
Okay. I don't got a lot else. I think Josh Dobbs is an interesting sleeper with the Niners.
Sure, if you're desperate.
If you're desperate, but there are desperate people out there.
Big
if
time.
You're still playing.
Yep.
And also veer towards teams that are going to score a lot of points.
Yep.
That goes without saying.
Yep.
But there could be some team. I think the Detroit-Minnesota game is going to be quite the shootout.
Well, as they call that, it's going to be a fantasy bonanza.
Yes. So they're perma-dudes, but Goff and Darnold.
All those guys.
Don't hesitate to play either of them.
Start all your Lions, all your Vikings.
I think Burrow against the Steelers is just going to keep going. And
no doubt.
Baker against New Orleans.
He's going to kill them.
Yeah. So don't worry about guys like that.
Yep. Well, you got to plug those guys in.
Yep.
That's all I got. You got any more?
No.
It's a short list this week, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, week 18, dude running backs.
Yeah, I put down Dobbins.
He might not play.
He might not play, yeah, but
He's banged up, and they might just.
geez, he just got off injured reserve and he's banged up again.
He's got a
Come on, JK.
He's got a questionable tag, and that all hinges.
Right.
You've got to have a fucking contingency plan.
Yeah.
If Pittsburgh wins that fucking game, you
Right.
can't play Dobbins.
Mm-hmm.
They will rest him. I got my boy Charbonnet versus the Rams.
I thought about him, but the Rams have been playing better
They're
against the
benching
run.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Yep. So if a guy's got a hangnail on defense, he's resting.
Being benched, okay.
Yeah. So they're going out there not with scrubs, but they're going out there with.
But again, you can only bench so many people.
True. But they're looking forward to the playoffs, whereas Seattle can just let it all hang out.
Okay.
And Charbonnet, he didn't do well last year, killed a lot of people's championship week. But he's going to bounce back this week against the Rams.
Okay.
It's a good matchup.
How about Jalen Warren?
I like it. Najee's a little banged up. He's been ineffective, and Warren is the better back.
He's questionable, but he's been practicing, I want to say.
He had a full practice today.
Yeah.
So he's playing.
And I also like Garendo for the Niners.
Okay, he was a little banged up too.
Yeah, but he's their guy.
Yeah.
He's going to play. And who are the Cards? The Cardinals can't stop anyone on the ground.
That's for damn sure.
Of course, neither can the Niners, and that makes Benson's going to be the guy for Arizona, right?
Yeah, Connor's done.
He might be a nice play this week, the rookie.
Yep. I got as a sleeper Rachaad White against New Orleans. Bucky's a little banged up.
He is a little banged up.
Even in the backfield split, White could score a touchdown anytime.
He's a good PPR guy.
Yeah, he is.
Nothing else. But
and if Bucky doesn't play for some reason, be all over Rachaad White.
And that could be another one where I could easily see Tampa Bay being up by 4 touchdowns at halftime or something ridiculous.
Well, say they're up 21-3. Bucky's probably not playing the second half.
Right, it's Bucky. We need you for next week in the playoffs.
You're a little banged up. Go over and nurse that injury.
Yep.
I hear you. That's all I got.
Yeah, me too. Garendo, Warren, Dobbins. Okay. That's all.
Wide receivers.
Andre Iosivas.
Oh, for Cincy.
For Cincy, yeah.
Okay, that's a good sleeper.
T. Higgins he's probably going to play, but he's hurt.
Yeah.
And, they're going to throw.
Yeah, they are, but Higgins has been looking good if he's in there.
Higgins is a good one, but again, you could steal a touchdown.
Sure. He's probably only going to get 4 targets.
It depends on Higgins, but again, they're going to score a lot and pass a lot.
Yep.
So I think he's a nice sleeper. I also have the 2 Detroit second guys, J-Mo and Addison.
Oh yeah.
And you might want to.
They're must-starts.
You might want to throw the third guys in there too, the tight ends. I just think
Hawkinson. Yep.
Like you say, it's going to be Hawkinson.
Laporta.
Obviously, Laporta is going to start, but that, like you said it right. It's going to be a fantasy feast.
Yeah, it is. It's just who's going to get the points.
Mm-hmm.
I got Zay Flowers versus Cleveland.
Okay, that's another fantasy feast going on. So
at least for
I
Baltimore.
Agree. Justice Hill is out, so
yeah, he is.
Him being the big passing down guy.
Yep.
Is going to open stuff up for everyone there.
Who else you got?
McMillan from Tampa Bay.
My boy.
Again, that's just on the theory that
there's a lot of points.
There could well be a lot of points scored by the Buccaneers.
I will. I'm starting him. He's been getting me a touchdown damn near every week. I got Metcalf versus the Rams. He's been terrible all year, but the matchup is good. Like I say, the Rams are going to be resting people.
And he's one of those guys who...
He's a sleeper.
He just might go off in the last game now that all the
pressure's off.
Pressure and heat is off. For the same reason, just tight end spoiler alert, I have Kyle Pitts. Atlanta's not making the playoffs, but
You just can't quit.
I could see him. I could see him having a good last game.
You just can't quit. Kyle Pitts.
It's a funny thing. I watched a video today on YouTube just passing the
You
time.
need to go to therapy, and when they ask, what are you here for? You go, I've got this hang-up over Kyle Pitts in my fantasy league, and it won't go away.
Dude, I have much bigger problems than my obsession with Kyle Pitts. Trust me.
You and me both.
But I was watching this video today on YouTube, and it was dudes who drop the plays of guys dropping the ball before going into the end zone.
Right.
And Metcalf and Pitts were both on there.
I remember when Metcalf did his. I don't remember Pitts's.
Yeah.
But I sure as hell remember Jonathan Taylor's that cost me 20 points.
20 points.
I'd be in second place right now if that son of a bitch wouldn't have dropped the ball.
If you're a player out there, don't do that.
He knows.
It's just such a stupid look.
Indy's a mess anyway.
Yeah. Oh, they know now, but they still do it.
Oh, I know. Okay, is that it?
That's all I got for wide receivers.
You said tight end. You had...
I got Pitts, Freiermuth, and Will Dissly.
Okay, I can see, Dissly. He's with the Chargers.
Chargers, yeah.
Yeah, he might not play. He's been banged up.
He's been banged up. You never
They
know.
might Sean McVay in the preseason doesn't play anybody but scrubs. And so if there's decide, hey, it ain't worth it, I don't know if Dissly's going to fucking play. I got Zach Ertz versus Dallas.
Ooh, I have him as a dork.
I got him as a dude.
I'm tired of his shit.
Yeah.
He's been around the league too long.
How is it you love Pitts but you hate Ertz?
I pull for the flakes. That's the problem.
Okay, and then I get a sleeper, Mike Gesicki, in a fantasy bonanza with Cincy
Oh
and
yeah,
Pittsburgh.
I like that one. That's a good one. I missed that one.
It's a good matchup.
It is.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
D's.
Again, the ones who are playing I'm looking at potential shutouts, and the actually three that I like are Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and the Chargers.
Okay.
Playing the Bears, the Saints, and Vegas.
Oh, I don't know if it'll come up, but...
Oh, God, here we go again. Dork alert.
I heard a little dork alert today that's going to warm your heart, dork.
Okay.
Caleb Williams is the first quarterback in NFL history with 500 passing attempts and less than 10 touchdowns. Ever.
He has more than 10 touchdowns, doesn't he?
I mean, interceptions.
Interceptions, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's been very good at taking care of the ball.
He's the only guy in NFL history, 500 attempts, less than 10 interceptions.
And probably add over 70 sacks to that, which he'll surpass the last week.
But for a rookie, that's a good record to hold.
No, I have no problem with Kate. The one good thing about the year has been he has looked real good under very terrible circumstances.
Yeah, and you would think, probably out of those 70 sacks, 35 of them are on him.
Some are on him. He has that.
And so I guess he feels it's better to run around, try to make something happen, and take a sack than throw an interception. There's a third option. It's called throw the ball out of fucking bounds.
But there's also a fourth option, and that's for the front office to build a decent offensive line.
No doubt. Your Bears' offensive line's been terrible forever.
And it's like, and I thought they addressed the depth this year.
Right.
They haven't. It's like one injury, it kills them.
If they don't use a first-round pick on an offensive lineman who's considered a top 10 pick, they're insane.
Well,
they could have did that with Odunze last year.
Yeah, they could have.
But they didn't.
I heard a rumor they were talking about trading up for Alt.
Yeah.
And right now I wish they would have done that, because they certainly didn't draft anyone after Odunze, that really was a different maker. And I do like Odunze, but he
wasn't a position that you need.
Right.
They're just going, let's surround Caleb with all the talent in the world except an offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, enough of that.
Let's move on to dorks.
You got any dude D's?
Oh, I mentioned
Oh, you
Green
mentioned
Bay,
them, yeah.
Tampa Bay, and the Chargers.
I got Green Bay. I'm going to have to bench them for Baltimore.
Baltimore. Oh, against Cleveland. Yeah, that's another one.
The last 2 weeks, Baltimore has put up 20 and 30 points in our scoring system.
Yeah. Baltimore.
They're saving my fucking chances of getting in the money.
Baltimore and Tampa Bay are two defensives that have really come together at the end of the year.
Yeah, they have.
And, with Tampa Bay, with them and the Rams, NFC is going to be an interesting playoffs.
I'm loving it.
Those are two teams that I wouldn't want to play them. I mean,
I hear you. And the Rams are going to get rest, and they're going to get a home game.
Yep.
Shit. I cashed my Rams to win the NFC West 3-1 bet, and Rams over 8.5 win bet.
Nice.
No, I didn't have the Rams wins. I cashed 3-1 on the Rams to make the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
And I've got them to win the Super Bowl.
I think I have them to win the Super Bowl, something like 35-1.
I think I got them 25.
Yeah.
I wish I had a better number on that. Probably could have got them 50-1 the middle of the season.
Oh yeah.
But then they look like shit. Okay, I have a sleeper D. The Texans against Tennessee.
Okay. I mean, it could be Mason Rudolph. It could be Will Levis. Either way, they're going to feast. So yep. I like that.
Yep. That could be a shutout. Because Tennessee, their running backs are all banged up. Pollard and Spears, it's the last game. They might not risk those guys.
Well, one running back, I didn't put him down, but we talked about him, is Kenneth Gainwell.
Right.
Now, I don't know if there's any reason. You mentioned he was dropped in our league recently after someone picked him up. I didn't catch any news on him.
Yep.
But, the Giants are going to run a lot. Barkley's not playing.
Yep.
He could go off.
Yeah. He could go off.
Yeah.
You might want to look at your RB position and pick that cat up.
I might.
You might, Rabbit. Okay, let's see here. Let's go Dorks.
Oh, God, here we go again. Dork alert.
Who do we got? Quarterbacks.
Give it to me.
Bo Nix.
Is a dork.
Yeah.
Against?
Kansas City. That defense is still pretty stellar.
They are.
And you can't bench everyone.
No, that's true. But Nix has been pretty solid.
He's been solid, yeah. I just don't think
And they need that game like blood.
They do. They haven't clinched the playoffs yet, have they?
No.
Okay.
And Denver's a 10-point favorite?
10.5.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
Okay.
I got Love versus Chicago, surprisingly.
No, I'm not going to do that. They got to win, too. They're going to be looking to win.
Yeah, they want to win, but it's not that important as far as seeding.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be playing guys, but Love's up and down. I think this is going to be a down week. They're playing in Chicago, right?
No, Green Bay.
Oh, in Green Bay? It doesn't matter. I think Love's going to be kind of a dork.
How about Kyler?
I got him.
He's he might be a permadork now. He just has not had a good year.
He is a permadork. I'm not going to touch him with a 10-foot pole in next year's draft. Any more?
No, that's all I got.
That's all I got. Wide receiver dorks.
How about running backs?
Running back dorks.
DeAndre Swift.
I almost put him down, but he's kind of been a dork.
He's been a dork. Tyrone Tracy.
I got him.
And I'm telling you, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about Derrick Henry this weekend?
I wouldn't make him a fucking dork. I'm hoping.
Do you think there's a temper expectation things?
Not really. I think they're going to just blow him out. He might not play the fourth quarter, but by that point he might have 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
You were going to make Henry a dork?
I wanted to ask your thoughts on him,
Yeah, no, I can never make him a dork. I can't make him a dude because he might set the fourth quarter. But he's going to get his numbers.
Okay.
And I'm a
little worried about him, put it that way.
I think Henry has a long shot chance of 2,000 yards, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Does he really? Okay.
Yeah, he's got 1,700 and something, I think. Oh, no, he'd have to have 250. But I got Blake Corum versus Seattle, dork.
It's a dork, okay. Interesting.
The Rams will be resting their offensive line.
Okay. But he'll be starting, though, for Williams, right? They're resting Williams, I assume, and letting Corum have the spotlight.
Kieran's out.
Okay.
He's been banged up, and they're going to rest his ass.
Okay.
And I don't blame him. Wide receiver, Dorks.
DJ Moore.
Got him.
All Green Bay wide receivers, because they just...
You can't trust them.
No consistency there.
Yep.
I mean, it's good for the Packers' success, but bad for fantasy.
Terrible for fantasy.
I put down Jawan Jennings with the emergence of Ricky Pearsall.
Pearsall, yeah.
Pearsall, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or that's another name I'm going to fracture for a while. We'll call him Pearsall.
Yeah, it's Pearsall.
Pearsall.
Remember, wasn't there a baseball player, Jimmy Pearsall?
Jimmy Pearsall.
Pearsall.
Jimmy Pearsall.
I think it's pronounced the same way.
He's the dude.
It's spelled the same way.
He's the dude. The movie Fear Strikes Out was about him.
Really?
Where he had to take some time off to get some help. Go in an institution.
Okay.
But one time he hit a home run and ran the bases backwards just so he could, go, as they call him, coast to coast on the news.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's Pearsall, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I've got, this might be a surprise, I got Nico Collins versus Tennessee.
Really?
Dork.
Is he going to sit or?
No, he's going to play, but I got no confidence in the Texans at all. It wouldn't surprise my ass if Tennessee won that game.
Oh, no. Well, I think, are they favored by 1.5?
I think they are.
Yeah.
So Tennessee, I don't know, man. And C.J. Stroud's terrible.
And again, they're locked in with the 4th seed. So
yeah, they have no reason to really play this game.
You'd think they would rest everyone and try and...
They want to get on track because they've been playing terrible.
They have been, yeah.
That's why Pittsburgh, I think, is going to play everybody, because they've been playing terrible. 3 losses in a row.
Yeah.
They need to turn this shit around or they're going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I think Nico's going to be a dork.
Okay.
Tight end dorks.
Dalton Shorts, Zach Ertz, Jonnu Smith are the 3 I got.
Jonnu Smith, my boy, he's a dude.
He's been on fire, but I think it ends
against the Jets.
Against the Jets.
I don't see that.
I've had Jonnu dialed in all year, and I know a fade when I see it.
Okay, I would like to place a $5 bet. You give me 3-1 that Jonnu scores a TD.
That's too complicated.
It's not complicated at all.
3-1.
3-1.
3-1. No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, because he's probably about plus 175.
Okay, then why would I give you 3-1?
I don't know. I was just asking, man.
Okay.
I got Mark Andrews versus Cleveland. Dork.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bad matchup. Cleveland, one of the things they do is play tight ends.
Oh, I know.
Plus, Andrews is a little banged up.
That Baltimore offense is on fire.
Yeah, but Andrews is a little banged up. They might get Likely more time.
Okay, we'll see. I can't go with
They're
that.
going in the playoffs. They need Andrews. Okay, and then I got Fryermuth as well.
It's a dork.
As a dork.
What are you thinking?
Watch it happen.
That dude's money by the goal line. Russell Wilson's favorite target.
He's been a dork through this 3-game losing streak.
Well, that part of the plan is him snapping out of it.
So we'll see. No, Fryermuth's going to be a dork. Sorry, Corn Pop. Okay, dork defenses.
Detroit and Minnesota.
Well, yeah, I've got both them too.
And I got KC and Buffalo. They're usually good, but don't bother playing them this week.
Okay, I've got Denver as a dork against KC. I think Carson Wentz is going to play well.
Oh, okay. He might, yeah.
He might, Rabbit. Okay, let's get to our picks. Week 18, last week of the regular season. Oh, and we will be back, next Thursday for our playoff edition, Dork?
Playoff edition next Thursday.
We're going to do a fantasy recap of our Bottoms Feeders League, just real quick off the top. Hopefully I'll be smiling. At least
you have a chance to get in the money.
I'm in the money right now.
Yeah.
But I want to get into second. I think
nice.
First is untouchable, but here we go. All right, Dorkster, Cleveland, plus 20 versus Baltimore. The number is 41.5.
I don't bet this game.
Me either. If you wanted Baltimore, you should have got their ass when they were like 16.
I'm going with Baltimore. I'm going to lay the points.
I am
but
too.
Either way, I don't like it, and I'm going with the over.
I'm not going to bet this game, and I've got the over as well. Cincy, -2 versus Pittsburgh.
I'm going to go with Cincy. This is another tough one. But
Well, I originally, when I did this shit in the morning, I went with Cincy. I'm going with Pittsburgh because I bet them this afternoon.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
What made you change your mind?
Fez.
Fez?
The Fez.
Oh, yeah, he's had a good year.
In Las Vegas, Chris. I love Fez. He's a funny dude.
He is.
And he doesn't mean to be funny, but he is.
Yeah.
He's one of those cats. And I got the under.
I have the over on that one.
Okay, we've got, and part of the reason I'm taking Pittsburgh is they're my team of destiny.
That's right.
And they've been letting me down. I wanted to mention this. In this 3-game losing streak,
Yeah.
in every game, Tomlin has fucked up at least one decision that was crucial.
Okay, but,
That's why he's no longer, that's why he's 100-1 for Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
He's fucking up in places he normally doesn't do that. He's afraid to go on fucking fourth down. Mm-hmm. He punts when he shouldn't. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the guy, but this is fucking crunch time, man. And you can't have, when your team's struggling, the last thing they need is their head coach to make fucked up decisions.
Yeah, but he's got a team that no one thought was going to be in the playoffs.
True.
In the playoffs again, like he does every year.
True. But it feels different this year. Well, it doesn't feel different because they go out in the first round of the playoffs, and I think that's going to probably fucking happen this year.
Probably. I would bet on it.
Not just because of Tomlin, but if he keeps fucking up a decision or two a game, they ain't going anywhere. Okay, let's see here. I got the under there.
Okay.
Chicago, your Chicago Bears, +10 versus Green Bay. The number's 41.
I'll take the pack.
I took them too.
And I like the over. The only thing I worry about
I got the under.
Just like with Cleveland.
It's going to be cold weather.
It's in very cold weather, but I worry about the backdoor covers.
Sure.
With these big lines.
10 points is a lot.
Yeah.
But the polar vortex is going to kick ass up in that.
17, I want to say. Was,
is that what it's going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it might have wind chill of 0.
And when you're in a situation like the Bears are,
yep.
You can try and get fired up, but once you start getting beat and falling behind, you just go into let's get out of here mode.
Yeah, I got my tickets to Cabo.
Yep.
Okay, we got, I got the under there because of the weather. It's 41.
I actually took the over.
Okay, New Orleans, +13.5 versus Tampa Bay. I think it went to 14, didn't
14, yes.
And the total's 43.5.
I got Tampa in the over.
I'm laying the points there, and
Tampa is just not a team to bet against.
They're
right
a machine.
Yeah.
I got the over as well. Buffalo, -2 versus New England. The total's 38.
Okay.
It's going to be cold in Buffalo, too.
Going to be cold in Buffalo. It's in New England, actually.
Don't get the same thing.
I'm taking the Patriots.
I took Buffalo.
Here's the thing with teams
Mitch
like...
Trubisky can beat fucking New England.
Oh, he could, but...
he will.
But, teams like New England and the Giants and the Raiders...
Right.
Draft pick teams...
Sure.
There's no surefire pick out there, number one pick. So there's really no reason to tank.
Well, and like everybody's been saying, you can't tell players to tank.
No, you can't.
They're playing for fucking contracts.
They're playing for contracts and
jobs.
Yeah.
They're not going to go out there and put bad shit on film like they quit.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. New England's going to fight, but Buffalo will find a way to win that fucking thing. And
You're probably right, but I'm going to stick with them. I don't like changing.
I got the under.
I have the under as well.
Giants +3 versus Philly. The number's 37.5. Philly's resting everybody.
I'm going to go with the Giants.
I'm taking them too with the points.
And the under.
I wouldn't bet it, but
I mean,
I got the under too.
Yeah.
Washington -5 versus Dallas.
It's actually up to 6.
Oh, 6.
When I checked. Yeah.
Okay. Washington 6 against Dallas. The total's 44.
Kind of waffled some on this game, but I just took the points in Dallas.
I'm laying the points with Washington.
I could see that too.
And I got the over.
I took the over as well.
Let's see. Carolina +8 versus Atlanta. It's in Atlanta. The total's 48.
I'm going to take Carolina.
I took Atlanta.
Again, the points.
I hate Atlanta, but I'm not betting this game. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Carolina's been playing half-ass decent. So 8 points is a lot.
That's what I'm thinking. And I like the under. I like maybe a 3-point Atlanta win.
I kind of got a gut feeling that Atlanta's going to give more of the playbook to Penix in his third game, and they might just open it up.
He might. I mean, it's an interesting situation. Like every game, you're trying to guess who's going to show up and who isn't.
Yep. I got the under there too, Dork.
Okay.
We've got Houston +5.5 versus Tennessee. The number's 37, one of the lowest of the week.
Do you have the over-under at 48 for Carolina, Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay, then I took it down right. Okay.
I got the under on that.
Yeah, I think that's too many points. Houston. I'm going with Houston. They're getting points. When the better team gets points, I just have to take it.
Houston.
I don't have much of an opinion on this, but
I don't think Houston can change their position in the playoffs. Or
no,
anything.
they're locked into the 4th seed.
I took Tennessee. I wouldn't bet this in a million years. They've only covered like twice all fucking year.
Okay, now that I'm finally off the Tennessee bandwagon, I think
I'm
that's
on.
going to be the lock of the week. You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
Everybody's big.
Everybody's off the Tennessee bandwagon. Them and the Jets in particular, killed the pros.
Yep.
They kept trotting those dudes out as picks every fucking week, and they didn't cover.
Oh, I know.
And
you know why?
And when you're a gambler, and I've been a gambler my whole life.
Yeah.
When you're a gambler and you're sitting there and you're deciding whether to pick Tennessee, and they've only covered twice in like 15 games, if you pick them again, you have this mentality that they're due.
Yeah.
But they're not. And you get killed.
Yeah.
And the pros know not to do that. Why they would bet Tennessee all season or the Jets is beyond me.
Yeah.
They know that that's a trap, a gambler's trap.
Well, I think some of it is they think
They were betting Atlanta too.
They see enough to think there'll be a turnaround or that this team is better than they've shown.
It's wishful thinking.
And are going to break out. In this case, it was. Yes.
Yeah. And by midpoint in the season, you should go, this is wishful thinking.
Yeah.
There were guys recommending Tennessee last week and the week before.
Oh, I know.
Knowing all this shit.
I know.
Okay, so where were we? I'm taking the under 37. It's a low number, but I don't think either of these offenses are worth a damn.
I'll take the over in a dome.
Okay.
I think they'll.
No, they're playing in Tennessee, aren't they?
That's a dome, isn't it?
No, they play outdoors.
They do? Okay.
Yeah, and it'll probably be raining. Jacksonville +5 versus Indy. The total's 44.
I got Indy.
I do too.
I could see them. They're at home. I could see them, sort of have one of those games where they take out their frustrations. And
because
just get a blowout.
They've been terrible.
They've had a bad year.
But I could see Jacksonville winning that fucking game because
because
Indy's been terrible.
I could, but I'd call Indy more mediocre than terrible. But it's just
they got Jonathan Taylor,
year.
And I think Flacco's going to go out there and he's got nothing to lose. He's going back on the couch after this game.
Yeah,
he's probably going to retire. If I'm him, I just fucking wing it.
He'll retire for a year or two, then like in 2028, we'll see him pop up somewhere.
No, what is the dude? 35 or something?
Oh, he's older than that, I think.
Yeah, no.
He won the Super Bowl in 12 years ago.
I know.
With the Colts.
I know. With the Ravens.
Ravens. I'm sorry. I'm still going. when I grew up in football like you, the Colts were in the Baltimore team.
I hear you.
So sometimes I still make that mistake.
And at one point, they were in the NFC.
That's right.
NFL.
The NFL, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I took the under. KC. I had plus 10.5. Did it go?
Yep. That's what I have, 40.
Versus Denver, and the total's 40.
I think Denver's going to win. I don't think it's going to be by more than one score.
You're taking KC?
Yeah, I am.
Me too. That's too many points.
That's just too many points here.
KC is a good team, even with their backups.
And it's just, they're the two-time Super Bowl champs. They're going to be looking at that. Wait, we're getting 10 points. What the fuck?
And we can knock.
They're going to show up.
Well, and we can knock Denver out of the playoffs if we win that fucking thing.
They would like that, but yeah, that's too many points.
Okay, I got the over there.
I took the under.
Denver and KC will both score.
We'll see.
Chargers minus 4.5. Did it go up to 5.5?
Went down to 4 actually last I saw.
Okay, I'll put 4 down there.
Either way, I got the Chargers.
I do too, and I got the under.
Although Vegas has been kind of feisty lately.
They have.
And I took the over.
Okay, Miami minus 1 versus the Jets in the Meadowlands.
The Jets are due. Give me the Jets.
Are you taking them?
Yeah.
No, I'm taking Miami. I don't care if it's Skylar or fucking Thompson.
Skylar or Tua or
Miami's the better team. Not by much,
Not
but
by much,
they're the
but
better team. They're better than the Jets by a point.
I suspect I forget what has to happen, but they are playing for their playoff lives. So
Well, Cincy and Denver have to lose,
right,
and they have to win.
okay.
So they got something to play for. Seattle minus 6.5 versus the Rams. The total's 38.5.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this game, so I'm just taking the point.
Taking Seattle, laying the points,
Okay,
and I'm going over.
because we don't know we don't know who's going to play for the Rams.
Well, they already said they're not playing anybody.
Well, they got to play someone.
Yeah, but they're not playing
They're
any.
not gonna. They're not
They're not playing. They're not playing. Okay.
It's not going to be Gino and DK
Stafford
doing pitch and catch.
Stafford's out. Puka's out. Cup's out.
Cup's out. Yep. And
Williams is out.
Kieran Williams.
Yeah.
My guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, Seattle. They'll win by 10. 49ers plus.
Seattle couldn't score a touchdown on the Bears. I mean, might be another 6-3 win for them.
Oh, we'll see.
That offense is fading.
Well, Gino's got like $4 million on the incentive line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Then they might bench him for whoever.
no, they're not going to do that. Teams. Gino's going to be out there.
No, they want to win. They got a new coach. The new coach wants to win.
Yeah.
So
And and they've got some flaws, but I like the direction they're heading. And like I say, the Rams, they're resting everybody. So I'm taking Seattle in the over. 49ers plus 4 versus Arizona. The total's 42.
I'd taken the Niners.
Taking Arizona.
Okay.
And the under. Both these teams are mailing it in.
Now the only game that matters. Detroit minus 2.5, 56.5.
Yep.
At home against Minnesota. Give me the Lions.
I'm taking Minnesota.
Okay.
And the points.
Minnesota's been very good lately. You want to throw down 10 on that one?
I don't feel good enough to do it because I haven't bet it yet.
Okay.
And in fact, if I do bet it, my initial thought was to take Detroit and lay the points. But I haven't bet it yet. I might just stay away from that fucking game because it's too hard to call.
It is.
Okay, you got some best bets, Dork?
I like KC getting the points.
Okay.
I like Detroit and San Francisco.
Okay.
I suppose I got to pick 2 more. Boy, that over on Detroit, Minnesota, that's just too high.
It is.
I could see it turning into a slug-it-out game. I'll take Indy and I'll take Carolina as my other 2 best bets. Indy minus 5, Carolina plus 8.
All right.
Crazy, but we got to do something. I've been in Struggle Town on the best bets.
Yeah.
Hence the wig.
Yep.
So,
And
that's a tribute to this guy who needs to be freed, President Trump. pardon the man.
Biden could pardon him.
Biden could. Yeah.
Someone needs to look into Roland's case.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, what he did, committing 3 felonies or whatever, deserves you to go in jail. But life?
Yeah. He screwed up.
He didn't kill anybody.
Yeah. It's a good redemption story.
It could be.
And it'd be fun to have him in the stands again, holding his John 3:16 sign.
If that dude got pardoned and freed, they'd put that motherfucker in the Super Bowl.
I know. And it'd be fun watching Al Michaels get pissed off about him being there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing Al could do.
No, there isn't.
The commissioner himself said, no, that's his seat.
Yeah.
You know? All right. Here's
Maybe
what
the commissioner will invite him to the skybox.
Yeah, and he'd be up there holding the sign. And okay, here's what I bet already, Dork. It's going to be a light betting week for me because I'm saving my powder for the playoffs.
Good thinking.
But I got Miami -1 versus the Jets. The Jets have packed it in. I've got Seattle -5. What are they now?
6.
I got them at -5 versus the Rams. I like that.
Are throwing money on the Seahawks.
Yeah, I got Washington. I got them at 4.5. They're 6 now.
That's a steal.
Yeah, I like that. I bet them really early against Dallas. I grabbed Tampa Bay at 13.5. Are they
14?
They're at 14 now. Huh?
13.5 is a nice number.
That's why I grabbed it. And then I got Buffalo at -3. I think they're 2.5 now.
2.5.
Versus New England, and then today I just bet Pittsburgh money line +110 versus Cincy. Pittsburgh
That's interesting.
will win that game.
That game's to stay away. How about let's bet that one? Let's throw 10 on that. I don't particularly like it, but I think it's.
Well, what's the point spread there?
Cincy is. I'll give you the 2 points on the spread right now.
2 points.
Pittsburgh +2. If you say they're
I'll
going to
take
win
it
that game,
for 10.
For 10, yeah.
You got it.
Okay, I'll write that down.
It's the last week of the season. I have to back my team of destiny.
You do. You do.
I'm a loyal fan. Whichever team I choose to be my team of destiny. My new team of destiny this year, though, I'm switching, Dork, going into the playoffs. My new team of destiny is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, baby.
Okay.
They're going to the Super Bowl. The NFC is wide open. And they're peaking at the right time.
NFC is wide open. I don't know. I see the Rams, the Packers, and the wild card. Well, the Rams aren't wild card, but they're the fourth seed.
Right.
The Rams, the Buccaneers, and the Packers as teams that could beat any one of the top 3.
And the Vikings.
The Vikings. I know they're not a 3 seed, but they're, Vikings, Detroit, Philly, the best record teams.
I think it just depends on how it goes because you've got Minnesota, Detroit, Philly. They're considered the top 3 teams in the conference.
Yep.
They're going to be knocking each other off at some point.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay, if they upset one of those 3 teams, they're right in the picture.
Yeah. And
I think Phillies are chokers. Now, the fact that they've got Barkley this year, I think, makes them a tougher team.
Yeah.
But if they didn't have Barkley, I wouldn't bet them to get to the Super Bowl.
The interesting thing is
and Jalen Hurts is still in fucking concussion protocol. That's worrisome.
Oh, I think he'll be good to go by the playoffs.
He should have been cleared by this by now.
That's true. But Detroit, Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
the winner of that game they're going to have a rematch in week 2 probably. That would be likely.
In the wild card round?
Yeah, not the wild card round. One or the other is going to be the 1 seed. The other is going to be the 5 seed. And assuming they beat the Rams, who it looks like they're going to play,
Right.
or it could be the Buccaneers too. They will probably
Yeah.
certainly play
Well,
the 1
assuming
seed.
they're going to beat the Rams or the Bucks, that's a big assumption.
Not for Minnesota and Detroit are both pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. We'll
But
see.
no, I agree. It's not going to be a cakewalk with either team.
We'll talk about the playoffs more next week, but
Yeah.
normally in the wild card round, you want to bet the favorites.
6 versus 3 has been a pretty profitable bet, but other than that, favorites.
Yep. At least in the wild card round.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it from Fantasy Football with the Dork and the Dude. That's for you, Mikey. Team of clowns.
Okay, Happy New Year,
Happy New Year.
and we will see you next Thursday when we talk playoffs.
That's it.
Enjoy this final weekend. I know for Bears fans like myself, it's been a shitty year, but football is still fun. It's still a hell of a lot better than college football, the NFL that is, and enjoy this last week.
Yep, Dork and I, we're going to do our playoff show next week. Might pop back in for another pod leading up into maybe the championship games, Dork.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think we'll have against the spread things every week. I think. Don't
Perfect.
You?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that.
And then after that, of course, then we're going to be once the lines come out on futures, we're going to be talking futures, and then we'll be by the 1st of March, we'll be in the off season.
Yep.
All right. Thanks again for watching. See you next week.
Oh God, here we go again. Dork alert.